How y'all doing? I hope well. It's your old pal Melissa Joy. So it's been a minute. I've actually been busy. I was making holiday gifts for my family, which I can't show you because they watch the channel. I had a skirt commission, which the bias is hanging out of the hem, and then I can hem it. I made some bird feeders for Raven's Beard, which is the place I took in Rockefeller the Owl. Fun fact, I'm allergic to evergreen trees. So I actually have never seen in person the Rockefeller tree. I made myself a hat and some clothes. I sewed some trim on Santa Claus. I think that covers it. Oh, I got a new computer because my computer doesn't like editing. The show that I work on is having an Australian production come back. So that's very exciting. I'm a little bit jealous, but I'm happy for them. Anyhow, let's get into it. Ready? Okay.
I saw these jeans at Goodwill the other day, and I thought, I could make these because they weren't my size, and I'm not really into gold.
Hi, Jimmy. How are you? Jimmy. Jimmy, you want to help with the thrift haul? First, he's going to sniff it. All right. These jeans I bought for $7.99. And the hoodie I bought for $5.99. Jimmy's very interested. The hoodie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that lace and make those jeans. Jimmy loves new stuff. I also bought this t-shirt for $1.99. And I bought this one for $3.49. I'm going to turn them into hats for myself. You comfortable there, buddy? You comfortable? Great.
Whenever you get new clothes from the thrift store, or even a new store, you should wash them. You don't know who's tried them on. There's also finishing, which is sometimes made out of formaldehyde. So please wash your new clothes when they come into the house. I started by opening up my side seams. I then cut away the hem, because honestly, jeans tend to be long on me. I also like a fringy hem. I can use the scissor to score the bottom, or honestly, once I wash it once or twice, it'll have the hem that I want. I recommend ripping it on the inside or wherever there is not fancy top stitching. That way it'll be easier to put it back together. Also recommend ripping it up past the knee. You can also use this trick to patch the holes in your jeans in your knees. I'm clipping out this lace for our pants, and I'm saving the hoodie for a future project, which I'm not sure of what it is yet, but I'm going to. If you happen to have lace at home, then use that.
You good, Jimmy? You good? You happy? Okay.
Now you're going to take your piece of lace and figure out the placement and which way you want the flowers to go. You're going to cut that shape out, and you're going to leave a little bit for trimming. You're going to save pieces for other areas like the knee, or you're going to recycle it for days. Make sure that you like where you've placed it, and just mark the area with some pins so that you have a vague idea when you put it back where it's going to go. I then pulled out my paint. I used Luminary by Jacquard Metallic Silver. I'll link it down below. Things to know about this is that it's a permanent, flexible, smooth, dry cleanable, light fast acrylic paint. I used 2 stencil brushes, one to apply the paint and a dry one to sort of work in the paint to help give it a mottled effect and keep it soft. That's looking pretty good, but I decided to crumple up the pieces a little bit to work in the paint some more. Off camera, I rinsed the pieces a little bit, then laid them flat to dry.
You can't work, Mommy. Must play with Jimmy. Must play with Jimmy. Did you just try to bite Mommy's face? Okay, Jimmy, you gotta get up. You gotta get up, because Mommy's gotta do some stuff. Okay.
Now it's time to pin your lace appliques to the jeans. You'll move it around a little bit, even though you did figure out placement before to really perfect where you want things to lay. And you'll shift it, and maybe you go, it should be the other way. Take your time, use a lot of pins because you want it to stay in place when you're going to stitch it.
Hi, bub.
So I got to tell you, I'm pretty chuffed about this applique that I did along the side seam. What I did was I used 2 pieces of the roses, and I pieced it so that it feeds into the seam. And you'll see that I zig around it and I close it up, and it looks like it's just coming out of the seam. It looks really cool. I'm pleased with it. In case you were wondering about Jimmy, he's never allowed in the studio by himself. There's way too many things for him to get into, although he tends to only be curious about the projects that I'm working on, which is good because then I can keep an eye on him. I do vacuum every day because I do not want curiosity to kill my cat. I love him way too much. He mostly wants what I call baby time, which is where he gets held like a baby. More often than not, he's actually laying on the guest bed in the studio.
Match your thread to your applique. The rule of thumb is, if you have to choose between 2 colors, is to go with the slightly darker color than the lighter color. Hi, Jimmy. Hi. Okay. You okay? Put your sewing machine on a tight zigzag stitch. I did a 1 1/4 stitch length and a 3 for the stitch width. This will make sure that it stays on and doesn't get all sloppy. Also, if you want to cut away the jeans underneath for some bearskin rock and roll vibes, the piece will stay together if you use a tight zigzag. I keep thinking that Prince had something like this, but the only picture I found of anything even close to that was him wearing chaps. Anyway, you can use these cutouts in other clothes, maybe a dress or a dress shirt. If you do make something like that, comment me the link. I want to see your projects. If you do an ankle applique like I did, and you also like to frayed hem like I do, what you're going to do is put it up a little bit higher than the edge so that the fabric actually has a chance to fray. Clip away any edging or excess that is hanging away because you want it to look neat. It's going to be tiny little bits that you're going to trim. Totally worth it. We are so close to done. Now close up your side seams. I suggest stitching it twice since it's jeans you want it to be strong. I used a straight stitch on a 2 1/2 length. Final step, zigzag the raw edge closed. You can serge it, but you're not going to have a lot to play with, so just zigzag it, and it's faster because it's one machine. I used a stitch length of 2 1/2.
And this is how they turned out. I'm pretty pleased with them. I especially like the way that I have the one on the seam feeding into itself. I think that's really cute and fun. I don't wear jeans a lot. They're not really my bag. But you do need some jeans sometimes just to bum around and do your thing. Anyhow, thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you soon.